right now. We're talking about something very important, that is about addiction. Addiction is often spoken about in whispers, hidden behind closed doors, wrapped in silence, and weighed down by shame. Yet, it's something that affects far more than just the individual. It touches families, friendships, and entire communities. And today, we're actually opening up that conversation. I joined up by our special guest on the airwaves of Razia Al Ansar International. Also, on basically, we are also on Facebook, but you won't be seeing our faces, but this conversation will always be available there. Our special guest is Brother Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Muhammad, and welcome to Urban Women on Razia Al Ansar this morning. Not sure what's going on.
Assalamu alaikum. Razia, can you hear?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah, loud and clear. Now, Brother Muhammad, let's dive straight into it. Please tell us firstly, what is WARCA, Wellness and Recovery Center Africa, all about?
Thank you for having me on the show this morning. I appreciate it. WARCA, Wellness and Recovery Center Africa. So we are a wellness and recovery center. We cater to people with suffering with addiction, suffering with mental health issues, and so forth. Addiction is a big problem in our community nowadays. A highly stigmatized issue, as you referred to previously. So we want to respond to the growing problem that is substance abuse and addiction within our community.
Very important. Now, share with us, what types of addiction do you treat?
So substance abuse primarily is the issue. Of course, that includes alcohol and drugs, those kinds of issues. These are issues that are difficult about, but it's something that we can all relate to. We all have loved one or someone that we know in our family, circle who has been impacted by substance abuse. Of course, it has a big impact on the families as well. As you said before, it's not the person or the patient. It's the family, it's the loved ones, it's the circle, it's the environment, it's the community.
Absolutely. You know, Brother Muhammad, I think it's so important that we have the eye to be able to spot it. So my question is, how do you actually spot when someone is addicted? I mean, in the early stages, it's easier to hide, but sometimes more obvious as the addiction progresses.
So this is an issue that eventually. It's inevitable. The reason is because you can only manage it for so long before it starts to impact different areas of your life, people in your life. Eventually, one way or another, it will come out probably in a way that affects somebody close to you or people around you, gets you into a situation that is regrettable. The important part is how to deal with it, and we offer an environment which is in the heart of Shamweni, a very serene environment, an area known for bird watching and those kinds of attractions, natural beauty. So we want to respond to it in the best way possible. We keep our patients in an environment that is healthy, in an environment that is conducive to change, meaningful change. And we want our patients to go home not experiencing this issue again. Now, of course, this isn't always realistic. You might have bumps in the road, you might have lapses. The important thing is how we manage. Of course, there are other recovery centers, rehabilitation centers that exist. Unfortunately, the stark reality is that most of these places, the patients that go there end up being repeat patients. And the reason is because we haven't found a sustainable route or path to recovery, and that is what we want to offer our community and our society. So regardless of how it's found out, regardless of how it comes to the fore that addiction is at play and somebody is in active addiction, the important part is how we respond to it, and that's what our organization is about.
That's so important, how we respond to it in the way forward. Now, I know that you have the SMP model of treatment that is offered by WARCA. So that's a spiritual, mental, and physical. So SMP. Can you please explain that to us?
So SMP module is based on something that is not entirely unheard of. So let me explain it at a grassroots level. You've got your spirituality. Of course, for us that means being Muslim. Right? And this is a very, very important coping tool. It's one of the building blocks of recovery. You know, getting in touch with your spiritual side, ensuring that your salahs are read and so forth. But the biopsychosocial aspects are also equally important. And now I'm alluding to the mental part. So the M parts, right? The mental, the biopsychosocial. And what we find is that people in active addiction, they neglect their physical self. And the reason is that their focus is being on the substance, right? And this is quite easy to understand. It's quite basic. But it's something that we forget. We have physical programs at WARCA. Sporting, recreational activities, and so forth. And these tie in with your psychological aspects. So keeping a healthy body, healthy mind, these are very closely linked. And we want to bring all of these aspects together: spiritual, mental, physical. On the mental side, we have a team of psychologists and counselors who focus on the psychological and emotional state of our patients and peers. And this is based on their review at the intake of their mental states, the individual and group therapy, the results of these sessions. We put all of these together, and we find a path forward in terms of the psychological aspect. So this would fall under the mental. And then when we have the physical, of course, we alluded to before physical health and the body. So in our physical program, we have a gym at the center. We have a paddle court. We have a swimming pool. There are quite a few lakes nearby where guys actually go fishing.
Lovely.
So we combine all of these aspects to find a sustainable path to recovery, and this is what we call the SMP model.
And so necessary, because it all is so intellect. So if as I'm listening to you, this is definitely a holistic way and a holistic approach to healing, because you can't just sort out the mental state when either of the other one isn't in balance or corrected as well. Now, Brother Mohammed, we know that sadly addiction, as we also mentioned earlier, it doesn't just affect one person, it affects entire families. I mean, we live in societies, there's this ripple effect. Does WARCA assist families as well?
Absolutely. So let's say you came to us with an issue, a loved one having an issue, and it caused some issues within the family. There might be need for intervention in terms of mediation, arbitration, and so forth. So we have a panel of experts, psychologists, we have a psychiatrist on board, we have multiple experts in these fields, pharmacologists. So everybody sits together with the management, with our management team. We discuss the case. We get back to the family. Let the family know exactly what we can do to help. And we are more than happy to assist families. In the context of the patient's addiction, we repair the relationship, provide mediation for that process, provide counseling sessions. Our psychologist is available to assist. So aftercare as well ties into this, because when a patient leaves, the family has to be aware that the patient is going to be in a certain state. There needs to be certain conditions at play. So of course, this impacts the entire family. And we are more than happy as part of our services, contractual services to assist with that process of helping the resident to get back into daily life and to manage that relationship, the dynamics of that relationship of the family itself.
Alhamdulillah, I think that's so imperative as well, because that then does obviously decipher how sustainable it can also be. Now, there is so much silence still going on and shame around addiction. What would you say to someone who's too afraid to ask for help, and what would your message be, or what would you like to share with the community to help change perspectives and perceptions here?
So the best way to approach these kind of issues where things are stigmatized, people are afraid to speak, is literally to speak out. That's one of the philosophies that we follow, and that's in practice that we are putting into play this very minute by having this conversation, and it's one of the reasons we are grateful to everyone and sorry for making the time. But the best way is to speak out about the issue, to let people know that this issue does exist. It is within our society. It has permeated our walls and got into the community, and that is okay. All right, I'm here to say that it's okay because in life things happen. What can we do? But move on. Right? It's okay. It's fine. We understand that the issue happened. Now it's time to deal with it. And this is what we are putting forward. Our SMP model, something that we believe in strongly. We believe that this is an issue that can be addressed, that should be addressed, and that is being addressed right now. So that's the first thing to understand.
Right.
Secondly, what are we doing about it? So if you need help, you reach out. Right? Reach out. You have heard of WARCA, WARCA. Find us online, Google us. You will see us. Find our website. Get in touch with us. We have guys. Our staff is always available to assist and on hand to field any questions that you may have.
Yeah, that big question is, what are you doing about it? Because just staying in that guilt and that shame takes you nowhere, and then the waswas of shaitan gets louder. And as you said, okay, it is what it is, and the big question is where to from here. So there are solutions. There is help out there. If you've been listening, Brother Muhammad has broken down things so nicely, and I love that SMP model of treatment that you also offer. Share with us, Brother Muhammad, how do our listeners contact you, and also where can they find out more information? Because this is something that our community needs, our society needs. When I see what's going on with our kids, it's very, very scary. And we think that is our future tomorrow, our future society. And what's going to happen from there? How do they get in contact with you?
So our website is www.warca.co.za. That's WARCA. And then our contact numbers are 06 786 10, and then 06 786 20.
Rather nice and easy. That's 0678678610, and the other one is 0678678620. You've got an issue, remember, you can always reach out to WARCA. We thank you so much for your time, Brother Muhammad. Allah shall accept your efforts, and you and the team as well, and maybe all go forward from here positively, inshallah, with the right mind, mental state, spirituality, and physical state as well. So then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Razia. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And that was Brother Muhammad from WARCA talking to us about something so important, addiction. Now, as I mentioned when I started, that it's often spoken about in whispers. It is hidden. We don't want to really talk about it. There's so much of shame around it. But then the question is, what happens then? What happens? Yes, it's a tough thing to admit, but it all begins with acceptance and awareness, and inshallah, where to from here is the big question. So looking for the solutions and trying to shift out of it. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect us all. We're in very challenging times right now, and you see what is going on around. And that's all we can do is make dua, but also find the solutions, inshallah, and let's get the help that we need. As you've heard, help is available. All you got to do is reach out, contact them, and there you go, WARCA. So let's go for a break. It's already 11:40. I'll be back in a bit, and then we'll touch on beauty. Stay tuned to Urban Women with me, Razia Rangrage.
سنى الشفق نسعى لنطور خطوتنا ونخط جمالا بالألق بمؤسسة الخير انطلقت من عبد الله سنى الشفق نسعى لنطور خطوتنا ونخط جمالا بالألق.
Urban Women with Razia Rangrage is proudly brought to you by Checkers Saxony Westwood Mall and Checkers Foods Cowie Park.
At the new Checkers Saxony Westwood, you'll find everything from our signature steakhouse classic cuts, expertly aged and ready for the braai. Try something exclusive like our Simple Truth certified lamb, responsibly sourced, free range, and raised without added growth hormones or promoters. Checkers Saxony Westwood, butchery, bakery, and deli certified by the NIHT.